Oh, this is going to be a very quick video because I have everything that we need set, and we are looking at only 10 matches, so it shouldn't take long. We're looking at the expected corners, total corners in each of these matches, and the expected cards in each of these matches. So let's dive right in. For Netherlands versus Sweden, for Netherlands versus Sweden, um the the total um the total corners that Netherlands play per per match, the average of the total corners Netherlands play per match, from data using data from 2010 till the last match that they played, like that's even in this 2026, the average, the average of the total corners Netherlands as a team played so far is 4.3, and the average that Sweden as a team played in total is 4.8. So adding that all together, we're expecting nine corners, like about 9 corners in Netherlands versus Sweden match. 9 corners, 9 corners. Why for cards? For cards, for cards, the what is it? The average cards that in a match that featured that Netherlands was a part of, the average cards that was shown in that match was 3 cards, while for Sweden, the average cards that was shown in a match that featured Sweden was also 3. So 3 plus 3 is 6, and dividing that by 2, this is the same 3. So we're expecting about 3 cards. We're expecting about 3 cards in the match that Netherlands versus Sweden. At least 3 cards. That's what we're expecting. At least 3 cards. Let's make this bold. So same thing for Germany versus Cote d'Ivoire. Average corners for Germany so far, like, is 6.6. 6.6. For Cote d'Ivoire, that's Ivory Coast, average corners is 4.2, which equals 10.8. We're expecting about 11 corners. 11 corners in in this match. Let's make this gold. 11 corners. Right here for this Germany versus Cote d'Ivoire, the average cards for Germany is 2.8. The average cards in a match that features Germany is 2.8, while the average cards in a match that features Cote d'Ivoire is 3. So 2.8 plus 3 is 5.8, divided by 2 is 2.9. So about 3 cards also. About 3 cards. About 3 cards. So Ecuador versus Curacao. Ecuador, average average corners played for by Ecuador is 5.2. 5.2. 5.2 corners in a match, plus Curacao average corner so far is just 1. They played 1 corner against their match against, was it Germany? Yeah. So we're expecting about 6 corners. About 6 corners here. 6 corners. At least 6 corners. While cards, the average cards for Ecuador is 3. The average cards for Ecuador is 3. Now, Curacao played only 1 match so far in the World Cup ever, and it is against Germany, and they collected 0 cards. So we are basically looking at, I think we are banking on Ecuador for this one to take about 3 cards. Or if we actually do 3 divided by 2, we're getting 1.5. So about 2 cards. About 2 cards. Let's run with 2 or 3. 2 or 3 average. Tunisia versus Japan, 4.7 corners in Tunisia 4.7 corners at least in averaging in their matches, while Japan 5.1. So 4.7 plus 5.1, 4.7 plus 5.1 is 9.8. We're expecting about 9.8, so let's say about 10 corners. Cards, Tunisia 2.3, Japan 3. So we're expecting how many cards for expecting how many cards like that? 2.3 plus 3, that's 5.3 divided by 2, 2.65, 2.65, 2.65 to 8.65. Yeah. For Spain versus Saudi Arabia, Spain average corners so far for Spain. Average corners so far for Spain is 6.8. 6.8. Average corners for Saudi Arabia is 4.9. 6.8 plus 4.9 is 11.7. So we are looking at about 12 corners here. Now for cards, Spain about 3 cards, averagely, while Saudi Arabia 3.7. So 3 plus 3.7, 6.7 divided by 2. We are looking at 3.35. So about 3 cards. So again, about 3 cards. Okay. Belgium versus Iran. The average corners in a Belgium match for Belgium is 6. That's 6. While for Iran, average corners is 4. So 6 plus 4.1. So it's actually 4.1. So 6 plus 4.1 is 10.1. So we are looking at about 10 corners. Let's leave it at that. For cards, average cards in a match that features Belgium is 3, while for Iran, average cards is 2.8. So 3 plus 2.8. 3 plus 2.8 is 5.8. 5.8 divided by 2, we're having 2.9. So we're expecting about 3 cards again. Let's put it 2.9. So we're expecting about 3 cards. Yeah, interesting. Okay, for Uruguay versus Cabo Verde, average corners for Uruguay is 4.8. 4.8 plus average corners for Cabo Verde. They've played only one match. Oh, did the one Germany actually beat 7-1? Or was it Curacao? I've forgotten. But Cabo Verde match, the one match that they've played so far, they played only one corner. So 4.8 plus 1, that's 5.8. So about 6 corners. But I think it's probably safe to assume Uruguay will be playing way more than 4.8 corners, so we should be seeing way more than 6 corners, I think. But let's go with what the data is telling us. While for cards, average Uruguay card is in a match 3.6, and average card for Cabo Verde is 2. So 3.6 plus 2 is 5.6, and 5.6 divided by 2 is 2.8. So we are looking at about 3 cards again. About 3 cards here. Now New Zealand versus Egypt. New Zealand average corners in a match. Oh, just one here. And for Egypt, average corners in a match is 4. So 4 plus 1 is 5. So we're expecting at least 5 corners here. And the cards, average cards for New Zealand is 2.5. Average cards in the match 2.5. Same thing with Egypt. Average cards 2.5. So 2.5 plus 2.5 divided by 2 is still the same 2.5. So we're expecting about 3 cards again. 3 cards to be shown at least. Okay, Argentina versus Austria. Argentina versus Austria. I thought this was going to be faster than this. Argentina versus Austria. Argentina average corners in the match 6. Austria average corners in the match 4. So 6 plus 4 is 10. So we're expecting about 10 corners at least here. Now for cards. Average cards in a match for Argentina is 3.6. And the average cards for Austria in a match is 1. 3.6 plus 1, 4.6. 4.6 divided by 2 is 2.3. So chances are we are seeing only 2 cards here. But I'm almost certain it should be more than that. So we're seeing at least 2.3 cards here. 2.3 cards here. Okay. And finally, France versus Iraq. France versus Iraq. Now, France average corners in a match for France is 4.9. 4.9. So, average corners in a match for Iraq is 2. So, we have 4.9 plus 2. 4.9 plus 2 is 6.9. That's what we're expecting, at least 6.9. So about 7 corners. While for Iraq, okay, for cards, average cards in a match for France is 3.5. While for Iraq, it is 1. I think Iraq has played only one World Cup tournament game so far from the data 2010 till present. Only one World Cup game, and they collected only 1 card there. So okay, so we have France average 3.5 cards plus Iraq average 1 card, so that's 4.5. 4.5 divided by 2 is 2.25. So yeah, this is basically what we're expecting when it comes to corners and cards for the upcoming next 10 matches of the World Cup tournament. Know that for Argentina and Netherlands, there were outliers in their cards, in the cards that they collected, because I think there was a match where they played against each other and they had 15 cards in total in one match. So I had to exclude that that particular data from this one, because it will really mess up everything. So yeah, this is what we are expecting, and yeah, let's see how it goes. So yeah, we'll find out soon.